Evening all. Welcome. What?
I said hello.
Welcome to Buds and Spawn. Apologies for the delay, techie shizzle, you know, but thank you for sticking with us. And now we can crack on. So this is our second online show. We've got a great show lined up for you. A little bit of background for those of you who haven't actually joined us before or don't know much about Buds and Spawn. Started as a live music night in Sheffield in 2019. There were some awesome gigs booked and then we couldn't do it. So we are live and online thanks to the Arts Council to the Arts Council for the funding. Arts Council. We're able to do these online shows, which has been fantastic. So we're bringing you some awesome music, some weird, wonky, psych, proggy, punky, experimental, off-kilter music. And we're going to start by introducing ourselves by the magical mic of introducing.
I'm going to start. Hi, everybody. I'm Laura from Buds and Spawn. I set this thing up in 2019 to bring some weird and wonderful music to the people of Sheffield and now to the people of the world.
Hello, my name is Mr. Stewart Ramsay. I am a music promoter for Leeds-based Banda Presents, and we also do the yearly festival StrangeForms. Thank you.
Hello, I am Chris. I am a member of New Ghost, a collaborative art rock project. Various other members, I'm sure we'll get into discussing in a bit.
Aitch.
I'm Aitch. I work with Laura.
Hello, I am General Midi from the pop rock opus a.P.A.t.T. Thank you very much. And I pass this
Back to me.
that way.
You have to eat it now.
Thank you very much.
Hey, so thank you all. Very nice.
For you.
So for the audience, it's great that you're here, but the bands really aren't going to get any feedback and it's going to be a bit odd for them, and it would be lovely if you could make it very special for them by showing your appreciation in the chat. So we know you're there, and we know you're there because we can see you chatting now. Stick any questions you have for any of the bands, for Chris and General Midi and Stewart also in the chat, and we'll get to them as we go along. And also have a look at the links that are underneath, where you can see more about the bands, and also there's merch, and you can buy people a drink, which is nice. So first up, I'm going to talk to Chris from New Ghost. So if the rest of you can turn your cameras and microphones off, that would be marvelous.
Are we miking or are we not miking?
You don't. Well, you can talk. You can talk into a cardboard mic if you want. It's entirely up to you. Nice to see you again.
And you?
Cheers for joining us.
That's all right.
So straight in then. You. We talked before about what you called yourself. So New Ghost has been described as a collective. So how do you actually work together, and how do you, as the songwriter, work with people?
So, I mean, it started just with me and a chap called John Sefton, who owned Old Pig Farm Studios up at Uterbridge in Sheffield. We were finishing off a project, and I had a bunch of other material lying around, so he got involved in helping to kind of build that with me. And then I sent that to a couple of friends, one of which was Ari, who is in a band called Hidden Mothers. He then sent that on, those demos and things, to some other musicians, and that's how it initially came together. So he's a bit of a linchpin. He's a promoter in Sheffield as well, and he sent, this music to all these other people who all wanted to get involved, and it kind of started from there. So there's various other individuals who've thrown their talents at what we've been doing and elevated it, really, because they're much better musicians than I am.
So you told me about really important producers.
Yeah, John being one. He helped create the band.
Yeah.
Essentially, he played drums and some other things on the little mini LP that we released last year. There is a chap called Tom as well, Tom Henthorne. He is a long-time collaborator. He helped with some other musical projects, and he helped build the Future is Dead EP that we released this year, this summer. So, and that was fantastic. That was a next kind of step for us. New collaborators, slightly different way of working. I mean, essentially, we get the song. I'll write the song or the bones of the song initially, and then we'll go into the studio and just kind of build it from there, really. But yeah, we've been really lucky. John and Tom, both instrumental in our beginnings.
So what happens when it's your stuff and somebody wants to change it?
I mean, it usually goes to a vote. So with the mini LP that we recorded, there were a couple of songs that I had written, one in particular, which started as just an acoustic folky finger-picked thing. We got it in the studio, and Gareth Hughes, who plays bass, and Nick, who was going to be on the video in a moment, they decided, along with John, that it was crap and that it needed to be entirely synth-led. I've been demoted from vocals several times as well. Much better vocalist, Caroline, from Dystopian Future movies. So she sang and played on several songs. But it's just what the song needs in the studio. There's not too many egos flying around. So once we get in there, it is a case of, if that sounds better, we're gonna go with that, I'm afraid. So
a proper team effort.
To an extent, yeah. And it's usually clear what is needed. So yeah.
Cool. And you've done quite a lot of video output during lockdown. So is that something that you did, or did you co-opt it to someone else, or are these new skills?
So I have always been interested in filmmaking. I did A-level film studies, which I thought was going to be practical. I thought it was going to be me walking around with a Super 8 camera making, like these little horror films, but it wasn't. It was just like English lit, but with films. So I've always been interested in that element, and so I've know a little bit about putting videos together. So I worked on that throughout this summer. Yeah. When we went into lockdown, I thought I'd try and just get a couple of videos together. They come out pretty well.
They did come out pretty well.
I'm really pleased with them. So, I mean, it's probably mainly due to the fact that my little brother, who is 10 years my junior, he works on some really big productions. He's worked on a few different Netflix shows and things. So he is doing what I wanted to do when I was younger. And so it was my little rebellion this summer. I'm going to make a music video to show him.
Look, you can do it too. Obviously, you did an awesome job though. Stuff Netflix.
No, I love it. Really. I will, if you're watching.
So very quick chat. We haven't got a lot of time, but I just wanted to ask you, what's your favourite Christmas song?
So my favourite Christmas song is probably She Came Home for Christmas by Mew. That was one of the first songs I heard of Mew. I used to stay up really late with my son just because he wouldn't sleep. So we just stayed up watching X-Files and things. And I once turned the TV over and there was a very strange video on. And it was Mew, She Came Home for Christmas. So
excellent. So a little bit out of the ordinary.
Yeah. So it is quite strange, but it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And it's great. Excellent. It's a really good song. So that's my choice.
Cheers, Chris.
Let's get to number one.
So, and you recorded we did a recording at Theatre Deli.
Yes.
With yourselves and our awesome tech team, high tech team. So before we watch that, just a reminder to people to put some questions in the chat for Chris, and we'll get to them afterwards. And a time to take a look at your set.
Thank you. Enjoy.
Great. You guys, song one, take one.
New Ghosts, roll 2, take 1.
to die, time will set you free. You've lived your life around my feet. I want you to stay, want you to live eternally. All we've ever done is need you here. Another one. In a town we thought we owned, there's a feeling that we own. Untie the branches we've become, unravel years of all the wants. Take a torch to what you know. When the fever rips apart, another damaged piece of land, another year we've left behind. To all the headstones I've become, and all the headstones we've become. than you know. I keep falling, I keep falling. I keep falling, I keep falling. More than you know, more than you see, more than you know, more than you see. Tell my friends I'm burning out, burning out. Tell my earth I'm giving up. More than you know, more than you see, more than you know, more than you see, more than you know, more than you see, more than you know, more than you see.
The video.
And we're back. Awesome. Thank you very much. For that. So I'm just going to go around and get your thoughts. General Midi.
Hello. Just generally.
Yeah.
Oh, talking about
Yeah, specifically.
Very nice. I don't know I feel a bit out of sorts because I don't know the larger band. I know you've just been mentioning it comes from a larger band background, and it makes me want to go have a look at that as well. It was very dreamy. It was very nice. I like it. It was filmed very well. Whoever the crew were, it was just good. It came together nice. Though. I'd like to again. It makes me want to do a source of inquiry. Is my mic the right level?
Yeah.
Good.
So Stuart, what do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was beautiful. I've been fortunate in that I've seen you go live before, and it was great to hear the different dynamic with Chris singing the songs where Caroline would usually sing them. So it was sounded different but fantastic, and the filming was great, both the audio and the visuals. Like with actually felt I could taste the dry ice at the back of my throat watching that. It felt like a almost live experience. So yeah, great set.
Excellent. And I know, Chris, you wanted to say something, didn't you, about
Yeah, I
that?
just wanted to give a shout out to the film crew. I mean, you folks as well for putting us on, but the film crew did an amazing job, and the audio sounds fantastic. The sound guy as well. So yeah, it's just really, and it was a wonderful experience as well. Like we came out, we were just like, wow, that was really good. Then when we saw the final product, yeah, just very, very good, top marks.
Excellent. So, Laura, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree with Stuart. I think I really enjoyed the contrast between the recorded stuff with Caroline's vocal and that live performance with Chris's vocal, and particularly on Burning Out. I think fact that you had to push your voice right to the edge to get some of those notes, it just added some added some real power to it. It was great, loved it. There's loads and loads of lovely feedback coming through on the chat. So Wayne was saying, can't wait to see you at an actual gig. David saying, sounding lush and ethereal with this setup. Lots of people who are obviously big fans of Stampy, which is the third track. And there may be some people in here that you know, I think, that are very much enjoying this.
I'm not sure. I can't. Depends what they're saying.
Potential family members maybe who are very much enjoying it. So yeah, people have loved it. So great work.
Ace, thank you. So so just a reminder that there's some more information about New Ghost underneath, and over to Laura, who's going to have a chat with Stewart.
Cool. So yeah, if everybody else wants to switch off their cameras, please, and your microphones, obviously. Right, Stewart. Hi. How are we doing?
Hi, Laura. I'm very well, thank you.
So first off, you have kind of given us a little introduction to Bad Owl at the start, but how would you describe, so you promote music in Leeds, what sort of music do you put on? How would you describe Bad Owl to people who haven't come across you?
We're quite eclectic, but pretty much stick within the parameters of math rock, post-metal, bit of noise rock as well. But I said we're not totally limited to that, but we try to kind of fly under that banner.
Yeah. Cool. And who's involved? Is it just you? How long have you been going? Who's involved?
So we've been going for 9 years, and it's myself and my wife Kerry. Kerry actually has a very busy day job, so it means I can be a little bit more bossy when it comes to picking the bands and doing that kind of thing. But so Kerry probably doesn't get the credit she deserves because she's more in the background than the foreground. I don't know why we chose the pretty face to be in the background and the not so pretty one to be in the foreground, but that's just the way that it worked out. So we've been going for about 9 years, and we've got lots of friends that help out when needed as well. But like I'd love to mention them all. There's probably too many to mention, but we get a lot of help from friends too.
And so you went from doing single gigs to promoting StrangeForms Festival, which is the 2-day event that you mentioned that happens at the Brudenell each year. So what led you to go from just putting on gigs to putting on a festival? Because it's quite a different undertaking.
Yeah, I think it took us, we'd been doing gigs for about 2 years perhaps. And then it was actually one of our friends who was in a band called himself, is now in a band called Don't Die. And he had said to us, why don't you put on like a kind of a weekend of music, just the shows that you put on are really fun to go to, and it'd be great to have a whole weekend of it. So I think we were a little bit nervous about that, just thinking that it was quite a big step up, going from maybe 4 bands to putting on, it was 16 bands the very first festival we did. Then we went to a.P.A.t.T Festival down in Bristol, and it was just like the lineup was just totally tailored to us, and so that was the very first a.P.A.t.T Festival, and we just saw that there was a lot of love for that kind of music, and that maybe people would come to a full 2 days worth of that music. So and we kind of figured ourselves that if we kind of almost split it mentally into groups of 4 bands, it was really just putting on 4 gigs in the space of 2 days kind of thing. So broke it down a little bit and felt a bit more manageable that way. So that was basically just thinking it'd be a lot of fun to have a lot of friends bands playing over a weekend as well, and I'd say just having sampled the atmosphere at a.P.A.t.T just made us go for it.
Yeah. Has it been fun compared to doing single gigs? Is it worth the stress?
I think it's absolutely is the short answer. I think that for me, with regards to StrangeForms, well, sorry, for a gig, I'll be stressed in the lead up to it and normally stressed out during the show itself.
Yeah.
Whereas StrangeForms is a bit different, and I'm stressed out all the way up to it, and then come the weekend itself, basically, we've got lots of friends helping out, doing everything. So all I'm doing is just standing there waiting for anything that may go wrong, and thankfully we've not really that many major disasters, so I guess I can probably relax a bit more and enjoy myself at StrangeForms.
Yeah, you get a bit longer to relax into it rather than like suddenly it being over and it's time to go home again. And so you put StrangeForms on at the Brudenell, which is pretty legendary venue really in the north now. I don't think there's many people who like are into alternative music in the north that haven't been there at one time or another. How's that experience working with them?
Yes, it's fantastic. I mean, we first started off doing StrangeForms at a venue in Leeds called Wharf Chambers, which is another fantastic venue. But we sold in years 3 and 4, we sold out and just realised that if we wanted to get in slightly bigger bands and just allow more people to come and enjoy it, we had to kind of move venue. So but we're sad to leave Wharf Chambers, and they were always really helpful to us, and we still put on gigs there. But like to put on shows at the Brudenell, I think is like a lot of promoters' dreams, and it was one of ours. So we just kind of went to them and asked them how they felt about us holding StrangeForms there, and they said yes. And yeah, it's just lovely being able to. I mean, it's great going to a show at the Brudenell. It literally is my favourite venue. But to be able to put on a show there as well is like, it's probably even better, I would say. And they're just always so helpful to us with regards to the promotion of it, just helping us with the show itself. Even like kind of if we need like kind of something like kind of soundboard to hit them off with regards to ideas and that kind of thing, they're always there for us. So yeah, it's that Nath that runs it is he's such a like massive supporter of live and local music, and like the team that he's got working there as well are all absolutely fantastic.
He's been really awesome this year in terms of like the Music Venue Trust campaigns, like the Save Our Venues stuff, trying to keep music venues' voices heard during these weird times. He's really been putting himself out there. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, he's like, I know there's bigger clubs than the bigger capacity sizes than the Brudenell, but it's probably the most kind of famous one within Leeds. But he doesn't kind of stand in his laurels. He'll go, you know, he's very proactive in helping out the other venues around the town as well, just as you say. And I think, you know, he's been putting up playlists of like, local bands and that kind of thing throughout lockdown too. That, so he's like kind of he's absolutely great and just like kind of keeping the scene alive in the city. So your 2020 event obviously couldn't happen. It was supposed to be in April this year, but you've announced your dates for 2021 and your lineup. So do you want to tell us when it is and who have you got?
Yeah, so it is on Saturday the 10th and Sunday the 11th of April. So we always have it the weekend after the bank holiday weekend, so it kind of changes really year on year when it is. We've announced 14 acts of the 18 that will be playing. We've got Press to Mako, the Guru who are coming over from Belgium, Suffer Like G Did, Polymath, Alpha Male Tea Party, Lost in the Riots, lots more. And
so some of them you're kind of familiar faces, your comfy pair of slippers that have played for you a few times, and some of them are new to you. Like, what's the mix like?
I do like a comfy pair of slippers. So we've got bands that have played for us at StrangeForms and at gigs quite a lot, just because we absolutely love them. We've got some bands that have played gigs for us but haven't played StrangeForms for us before, and then we've got 5 or 6 acts who we have never put on before, so it's a nice mix for us. It's like kind of, there is a comfort in having bands that you're friendly with and you've put on lots of times before being there. Kind of gives you just a bit of confidence knowing that they've got your back and that they're happy to come back and play for you. But it's lovely being able to have bands play gigs for you and maybe give them a slightly bigger audience at StrangeForms as well, because they totally deserve it, and it's great just being able to put on new bands that you've not put on before as well. So yeah, it's a good mix of all three.
Awesome. So we're going to share a video from one of the bands that are on the bill this year. I'm going to use the radio edit of their name, so that's CLT DRP, and we'll let other people fill in the gaps as their imaginations will. So tell us a little bit about them. How did you come across them? Have they played for you before?
Yeah, so they have played for us before. They played for us last year. They were on our radar, but it was actually their booking agent and got in contact with us just looking for shows. So it was themselves and a great band called No Violet, who were doing a joint tour around the UK. And we put them on, and yeah, it was a fantastic show. And the band they are just incredible. Like if you get a chance to listen to the record and you haven't done so before, then check that out. But look, as good as the record is, it's just as a live spectacle, they're just absolutely fantastic. So they're playing StrangeForms. But I mean, if you're not in town or you can't get to StrangeForms, just watch out for other tour dates, because they are just a fantastic band.
And I think this video really does show how awesome they are. I'm really excited about sharing this with everybody. So just before we go to the video, what's your favourite Christmas song?
So I can't really pick a favourite one, but one that I do enjoy is a song called A Christmas Jewel, and it's by The Hives and Cyndi Lauper. Oh, wow. So if you're fed up of hearing Fairy Tale of New York, it feels almost like a kind of more modern take of Fairy Tale of New York. It's a bit of a hate song with two people shouting at each other, but it's a really good up-tempo Christmas song.
Wicked. Okay, brilliant. Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you, Laura.
Let's have a look at the video.
Yeah, it was just cutting out random times, so I don't.
The cable, yeah.
Amazing. Woo!
Thanks
I
for
love
that,
them.
Stuart.
They're amazing.
They're amazing.
They are. So thanks. I didn't know about them, Stuart, so thanks for that. So we're gonna crack on with a conversation with me and General Midi. So if we can turn everyone else, turn their cameras off and microphones.
It'd be funny if I turned mine off then, wouldn't it? If I just
No, you're not allowed. That won't work. So, what is A.P.A.T.? Is it a collective, a collaboration? Is it a cult?
It's a good starting question. I don't know. It's a band. No, it's not. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It was. How long an answer do you want?
Fairly long.
Fairly long. Okay. It's definitely something that uses all of the things of bands and stuff that bands do. That I can't deny that. It's got all the bad bits of bands as well as the good bits. But it was, which we can go into. Maybe we make an addendum, point 1 there, or something like that. But also, it was a reaction to being in bands. It was just like a thing that I started, set like. We should have a little like counter for me as well. I say like in the corner, just getting higher as we speak.
Yeah.
It when you're playing bands a lot, you start learning all the problems of it. And when I was very young and still full of ideas and beans, it became a good idea to try and do a project that was not allowed to have those things. So firstly, there's no gigs. We didn't have a gigs. Secondly, there was no members. It wasn't a band because we haven't agreed that yet. But so it was a thing where I collected songs, we'll call them at this point, but they were not. They were just things, and that was due to digital technology being a thing that had occurred. So all of a sudden, some experiments were going like that, and there was an adage going at the time for me in my brain, which was whoever was in the room. So if someone was in the room, I'd get them to do a thing. And I know lots of musicians because we're all in bands. So like it became this floating concept from the offset. And myself and Field Marshal Stack and a couple of other earlier members were quite keen on looking at different ways to, like, everyone was always a little bit conceptual. And we talk a lot about things before doing them and stuff like that, because it was just different to the way we've done it before, where you want to play the guitar or whatever. So it was trying to be like as considered about certain things as you don't normally bother. It's all the things you don't bother to do in a band. We were trying to have a little go with that. And
so you were really making the process a thing.
The process is such the importance, and like this wasn't like intentional from the offset. This is something that I can say now, but it actually was just a bunch of flaky people recording weird stuff with weird tastes, and the technology became there. But it formed inquiries and little processes and little rules that I'm very thankful for, that I'm able to like adhere to still, if you know what I mean. Because it gave like such an insight into like a different process to base a thing on.
So what are the rules that you can?
Well, again, the rules and opinions can change and subject to do at any given moment. But like, there's just certain things that you just know. I mean, you should be trying to. I mean, there is so like often a popular question is how do you write your music? It's so different. And like the answer is there is no answer to that, because that would make it sound the same. It's a really obvious thing. So you need to do a different thing each time. So that's why we'll always use different approaches and basis.
And this is presumably why it's very much an art music crossover.
It definitely comes into that. And again, that wasn't intentional, but like at the time, it's not an unusual thing if your record collection already has all of this stuff in it. So musically, there was no groundbreaking things going on. I think it was more the idea of going, whoa, that maybe that's how they did it. There was always a lot of that going, because when you experiment with stuff, be it tape or be it delay boxes or whatever, you kind of go, oh, that's how they do that. I've heard that on. And like, so it's always been like a voyage of discovery or a learning curve or something. So like, I've learned how to engineer through it. I've learned how to do finances through it. I've learned how to travel effectively. You know, so it has been, and I kind of, you'd want that in a project. So I'm, it's just a thing with whoever's who wants to be in the room at the time. That's a good summary, isn't it?
On the flip side, you know, we talked before about the problem with how do you define it then, because it's genreless, but there's also so many challenges around the genre. You were saying about, you know, you can't, people in the UK in particular, there's a real struggle with any sort of surrealist fun approach, and it's all a bit stuffy. Blokes in back rooms, I think is what you said.
There was a lot of blokes in back rooms everywhere, I suppose, but they just like, they seem to be a little bit more up for it sometimes in other places. It just seems to be the way. I don't know why, but that you know, it just seems to be that type of thing. I think there's been a lot of you only have a short time span to listen to things. And I don't think with that kind of act, you know, so like just hearing a song on in a venue might not draw most people's ear quick. I don't know, you know. I'm not concerned with that either, really. So, you know, so I go where people need you to be. So.
So when you released Cigarettes and Margarine recently, and it's a fairly powered ballady type.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
you don't consider that to be a departure?
No, but I know it probably might be to some people, but like anyone who knows the act would just be like, oh, they've gone for that thing. It's like that, you know, don't expect the huge and all that type of thing. But it's like it comes with problems, because the problems are you can't explain it to people in the lift. I have no elevator pitch whatsoever. You can't, like, if someone does a review of you, they list a load of genres, and if I read a band and it says hip hop, metal, funk, jazz, it's just like, that sounds terrible, you know, like it. So that's really off putting straight away. So like it's very, very difficult to not even just like market, but talk about to people. So I've kind of stopped doing most of that, really. I usually just try and pick some acts that are kind of big and interesting, and say, and if they know them, then we'll talk a bit more. But if they don't, it's like I can't even be asked. Not anymore.
Yeah, a bit of a challenge. Okay, so we're coming up to
writing biogs. No way, terrible.
No, what?
Writing a biog is the worst thing in the world.
Oh God, yeah, no, everyone hates that. Yeah. So I need to know what your favourite Christmas song is.
Ooh, it would be irresponsible of me not to say Macca's Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time.
Of course.
It'd just be really wrong. It's got that cool little synth sound on it. It's quite chirpy. Sleigh bells, bit of a banger. Video's funny.
What could you want?
Yep.
Okay, we're going to take a look at what you've prepared for us.
Sorry. Bye, everyone.
Rolling. Is it in your bag? 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 Is it in your bag?
present to you Wagging Larry and the Bone Chasers.
Alone I stare into the sun. I'm going nowhere. The sun squints at starched poverty. The old man sleeps outside the window, briefly opening his eyes. Sleepy eggs with inflamed lids. He sees forever the roar of rivers, swollen with waste and lies. The splendid mouth of earth and flies to sting the numb. As senile breath grows weak, to sing a simple song. With thin lips and rusty tongue. Abandoned in a helpless smile, lost for words, as tiny hands hunt for herbs, to satisfy a tribe of strangers. Europe is sleeping, the sick sun, unable to obey the grip of tyrants. I want to run away, but where? The streets are dark and my conscience glitters like salt scattered on pavements. Set for short journeys through the back lanes and the back streets. Frozen birds crunch like gravel. Thunders like a giant mechanical beast.
I clicked options. Where are my options? View options.
Probably because you clicked on my face and clicked zoom in. Because you clicked on my face and said show only this face.
I totally did. Yeah, well, that's good.
Look at Oh yeah.
Where is everyone?
Proper sideways on there.
That's really good, Ash. I like that.
Look at that. That's properly tied on. That wasn't before. Now it is. It's fully on the.
Oh.
Whoa! Yes! Yeah!
No, I've just got Steve. But I couldn't see Steve before. Hi, Steve.
You win!
Yeah. Everyone's screen and now it's gone back to the job. Ah! Now it's just. Are you doing this, Chloe? Are you
it's some joint efforts, you know, team effort.
Second unto his soil past, which he passed the no dust. His hell was always around him. The more he tries to distract himself, the more insistent Bad's embrace. It's cold, helpless, unaware of what she had done to him. But Vowers now dominates his rotted thoughts. The keeper to my black heart.
I've got a big green bogey. Yatta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. I've got a big green bogey.
Christmas time or hell. Chop the bird in pieces, half a dozen more. We quibble till we're white as snow, the eggnog we pour.
Awesome. None of your thumbs down. That was amazing.
Really long, wasn't it?
It wasn't. It was brilliant. So tell us about how and where it was filmed.
Ooh, it was a montage of different things. There was some actual genuine live things that were happening just then on the internet. There was some live footage from Rock and Opposition Festival, which was in Carmo, and we played that with Gong and Faust and things, and that was filmed by, I'm going to try and say his name right here. It's something like Ishendolus and Se Miak. And if I say that wrong, I do apologise. And their team filmed that, and that was all of the live songs. You may have saw some dogs playing some Christmas music. That was Christmas Jumps for Dogs by Jack Whiteley. He's a very talented filmmaker, and you may have seen him doing things on television, but I'm not going to say what they are, but just think about that. There was Figgy Pud, and that was made by .wav and filmed by .wav. That was one of their own from a small production company, .wav.com. Europe is Sleeping, which was our improvisational piece, features the poet Mark Greenwood, and he is a light in a world of darkness to us, because we always end up doing things with him. And we unwittingly improvised in a kind of pass the parcel thing during lockdown, and then put it together and then did that. That's what that was. And then it ended.
Yeah, it did.
And then I guess there was a little bit of feedback afterwards, a bit of a review. I spoke in a dulcet tone.
Yeah.
And then I put the reverb on my voice.
So I'm going to just get some thoughts on that then. Chris, what do you think?
What can you say? It was it was all of the things. It was all of the things put together in a satisfying whole. It was brilliant. It was really impressive, all of it. You know, just, I mean, how do you follow it? I'm glad we went first.
Stewart.
Yeah, it was fantastically bonkers. Just massive mash-up, and like you couldn't divert your attention. Basically, it was just have to keep watching and listening. But I loved all the visuals that were added into it as well.
It's pretty awkward. It was just like doing it whilst we're here as well, talking about each other, isn't it?
Yeah. So
We should bar the other one out the room whilst we talk.
Make you turn around, very Blair Witch. Laura.
Thank you so much, General Midi, and to everybody. So let's go through your band members, like who was involved in making the film. They all need a shout out, don't they?
Who haven't I said? I probably haven't said the actual band members, have I? So that would be that we've got Boss DR5. He was playing, if you think about the improvised piece, he was playing the synthesizer on the left shoulder. Bossa Nova was playing the hot rod drums, and he was playing it on the right corner top there. Dorothy Wave was playing bass whistle. Empress Play was playing bass clarinet. Myself, General Midi, was playing the piano, and Private Dancer was playing the violin.
Lovely. And like Dorothy Wave's Figgy Pud video, I just think is stunning. That needs
you got the exclusive. Hey, you got the exclusive.
Yeah, well, I'm very, very grateful that you let us show it first. Is it? Have you got plans to get it out there in the wild?
Yes, we're doing that Christmas thing. You know, we've got that Christmas record thing that we tout, and it's finished and it's done. So it's doing it again this year, and we've got our video to go with it, and it's that. And that goes out on the 12th, I think. And that should be all of the songs out, ready to be done. And then we can have a break, right? Yeah.
Yeah, look forward to that. What about Christmas Jumpers for Dogs? Is that going to be out there on the internet? Like,
I imagine I will break this into segments, and it will go out in little bits, and because there's little, like certainly the sections that are, for sure. Maybe we'll do a little cut up thing for yours thing as well, or something.
Yeah, that would be cool. I definitely feel like we are. Yeah, Christmas Jumpers would be nice to go out like soon. being as it won't feel that relevant in like 2 weeks' time, will it?
It's always nice to share the Christmas album on June 1st. I always find there's something smug and pointless about that. You know? you get at least 2 goes, I think, and June 1st is the other one. You know.
So we've got quite there's loads going on the chat tonight. Not least people trying to install integrated freezers whilst listening to a.P.A.t.T, which sounds challenging. Yes.
Yeah.
I asked if people had got any questions, which was a really stupid thing to do because then I've just got loads of stupid questions.
Yeah.
So GT would like to know: are you basically an angry dentist? Oh, you've done that weird for that. I feel like I'm in a Michel Gondry film now.
Yes.
Yes, you are basically an angry dentist. Unstoppable Sweeties show are on, who are definitely somebody that's on my radar as a band that I'd love to get involved in Buds and Spawn at some point. But they want to know what's the difference between a melon.
Yes.
Okay, good answer.
What do you mean difference between? They trying to? Oh, I get it. They're doing the funnies.
Yeah.
Might be clever. No, I know those guys. I know what they're up to.
Well, they're up to that.
Still doing it.
Cloud Spotting Music and Arts Festival, which will be Matt. Hi, Matt. Said it was strangely brilliant. Every member plays a very creative role, which I think is a fair point. Belch says, fucking ace. And GT says, is high-level multi-instrumental proficiency a prerequisite for joining a.P.A.t.? Because he can click his fingers with both hands.
That's pretty
and if that's
good.
who I think it is, he definitely can click his fingers with both hands. I've seen him do it.
The question is, can he not click them though?
Yeah, can he not? Yeah, that's a different question.
Now you're talking.
And Craigus wants to know if your GNU has a stable. I don't even know what to say.
I can't. It might take me a while to process.
Yeah. Serious question. Next album? Is there an a.P.A.t.T album in the pipeline that people can look forward to?
Yeah, it could have dropped. It could have happened a while ago, but it's difficult to know when to. And then things change, and then this nonsense kicked in. Don't know. I'm a cross between hypervigilant and cautious. So there's like an area where I want to see how things. What do we do? Because I don't want to just release it and then that's that. You'd want to be able to support it and play in things. So we've got a man who wants us to tour already for like April time, which is a little soon than I can understand to do. But so it'd be nice to synchronize that. So why not this year for sure? We've kind of got it done in some ways, but there's always room for a little bit of tweaking. We've been working with a gentleman called Udi Kumran, and he does like things and does some mastering and stuff like that for nice things like Aerial Pink and Soft Machine and stuff. So he's done like a couple of tracks and they sound really, really good. And we've got another couple of things that we've been kind of focusing on, which I don't know. I'm very tempted to do a subscriber thing, because we've come off Spotify and I think it's a load of arse council. So my aim is to like just focus on something else, and it seems like Bandcamp's the one, isn't it? So like we might just do it as a subscription thing, and maybe just do it as like a 1 song a month thing or something, and then maybe collate them at the end on a vinyl or something cute like that. I don't know. I'm still hovering over it, but I don't know. I want to see how
it's not too long though. There's like people should get ready that there's things coming.
There's things coming. I mean, like yeah, there's definitely things coming. And we've got another series of our a.P.A.t.T Lifestyle Challenge channel show. So we're going to do another 6 parts of that probably around March.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now it's interesting that you mentioned Bandcamp because we're hoping to do the next live stream show using the Bandcamp streaming service. But obviously we need to do a bit of testing to see how things work, how the ticketing side works, which is why the next event. There's no tickets available until after Christmas, so that we can just make sure it all works. But I want to support them as a platform. They're just doing good work.
Agreed.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. When does that roll out? That feature, is it already rolled out?
It's available now. Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah.
See the way I used the phrase roll out.
Bombshell. So wrapping up. So that's all, folks. Just remains to say an enormous thank you to all of our guests. So Chris from New Ghost, Stewart from Bad Owl, and General Midi from a.P.A.t.T. Thanks. Brilliant. Sharing ideas, music, influences, thoughts. Thanks everyone for being there and active in the chat. It's nice to know that you're all enjoying yourselves. And don't forget, you can still have a look at the links underneath. Buy the merch, buy the drinks, and check out the music.
Before we go, I just need to tell people about the next show.
And I'm just going to go over to you.
Oh, sorry.
And over to Laura to tell us what next for Buttons and Spawn. This is slick as, isn't it, really?
So yeah, the next event is going to be another live stream, and that's going to be on Thursday, the 25th of February. We've got the absolutely amazing Perhaps Contraption as our headline artist. They're a 9-piece progressive brass band stroke chamber choir stroke theatre makers. Steve, I'm just gonna have to not look at your General Midi. And we have to not look at your screen. Distracting me. So originally they were going to come and perform their piece of gig theatre called Nearly Human at the Abbeydale Picture House. That was the plan with the Arts Council money. So obviously we can't quite get there to do that at the moment. So we're going to hold a watch party to watch a pre-recorded version of Nearly Human, and they're going to record us an exclusive live session. And joining them on that programme will be Captain Avery and the Cosmic Triceratops of Intergalactic Peace. Sheffield audiences will know them well. They're a big feature on Sheffield's kind of party scene. They've recorded a brilliant session for us at Theatre Deli in October. And our special guest will be Sophie Cooper, who curates and promotes the Tour Fest weekend at the Golden Lion in Todmorden, which is 2 days of psychedelic and experimental music, but she's also happens to be a renowned trombone player and composer. So we've actually got a really excitingly brass heavy lineup for the next show. So yeah, fingers crossed. That will be using the Bandcamp live streaming facility. So keep your eyes on our socials for more news on that, or sign up to the mailing list and you'll find out all about it.
Cheers, Laura. So join us next year, which hopefully, please God, let it be better than this one. Thursday, 25th of February. It's going to be properly high energy. To leave us is a taster of what's to come in February with Perhaps Contraption. And farewell, everyone, and stay wonky.
Look high and fall to the arms of the land and slide through the cracks in the earth. Soon, 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 white daisies will grow.
Thank you.